stretch, 2 lowest ERAs in the league on the mound tonight. So obviously go out and score 28 runs. Just talk about what you saw out there.
Yeah, your typical Friday night, 17-11. No, they obviously the winds. When you get a north wind at Lupton on a somewhat normal temperature day, the ballpark plays small, and it did tonight. But I guess we threw enough punches and give them credit for coming back and give us credit for they got it to 10-8 and then rolled a 7 in the 8th, which was huge, obviously. And then Noah had a homer. I thought the big one was Traeger's, because it was 10-8, and then he made it 13-8. So I thought that was huge. So you just got to keep playing, especially in these games where the ballpark is playing small. You can't give any outs and think the game's over. And they did a really, really good job of doing that on their end, and we did a good job as well.
You've talked about wanting to see this team drive in more runners when they get on base. Obviously, that happened tonight. How good was it to see that in a night where Tommy didn't get out of the 5th inning, had to throw a lot of pitches, and just was really grinding?
That's what good teams do when Tommy's been really good all year long, and the offense picked him up today. And so that was really nice to see, and it was kind of up and down the lineup. I thought Sam Myers coming off the bench, drawing a really good walk. I think it was up 1-2, and then he drew a walk and then got a really good knock up the middle. So that was great to see from him. Just good all the way up and down the lineup, and hit some balls really, really hard and stayed through the middle of the field a ton today. And it'll be a fun game tomorrow.
Coach, we talked recently about Louis, about how we haven't seen him much, but finding the right spots tonight. 3.1 innings pitched, got the win. What did you see out of him?
Yeah, Louis is always a guy that I always think the more he pitches, the better he is. And there was a little stretch there where, he didn't quite pitch enough. And, because some of that was because our starters were going deep and Sloan was eating up a lot of innings. And today, obviously, the last couple of weeks, he's been kind of the guy coming out of the bullpen. He's been really great and was again tonight.
You already mentioned Nolan Traeger's big home run there in the 8th. How encouraging is it to see a guy like him, struggle at the plate kind of throughout the day and then come up with a big shot like that?
Sure. You always talk about as coaches that you never know which at bat is going to be the one that changes a game, and each at bat going up to the plate. I think they do a really good job of not carrying one at bat to the other, and he got a fastball up and did a really good job of meeting that fast because that guy had a really good carry. Which most of those fastballs that are thrown at the top of the zone with him usually are swings and misses or balls that are fly balls, and he did a really good job of beating it to the spot and backspin it to center field. So, again, did a really good job.
A player like Bedore on Cincinnati, 3 stolen bases tonight.
Yeah.
How tough is it trying to do it?
I probably got to pitch out. Probably got to pitch out or not let him get on. So, he's I think he's now 36 of 37. So. It's tough. He's really, really good, and we have to do a better job of not letting him get on or do some more things in terms of pitching out and doing some things to limit that.
Colton Griffin had 3 doubles on Sunday, started his outing today with another double. What is he seeing and doing well with the play right now?
Well, there's a stretch where, Jack Bell was playing a ton and Colton wasn't, and some of that was defensive and getting Jack some at-bats, and then just inserted him in there, and all of a sudden he's kind of started to, take some of that back, and he's been good. He's been good, consistent throughout the year, and that little injury in the middle part of the year probably took him out, and now he's starting to see the ball really well and staying to the opposite field side a lot, and doing a really good job. So, and he's playing good defense. So,
You always talk about seeing a lot of arms. You saw 8 different Cincinnati arms today, and you still have 2 more games for the weekend. How big is that for the team?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I have to look at the numbers, but a lot of it, they used them where, they didn't use them that much. So they can pitch tomorrow. They for sure can pitch on Sunday. So, they did a lot of matchups tonight. And, sometimes it's hard, as you've seen in our midweek games, where you're facing a different guy all the time, different at-bats. So give credit to our hitters, and I'm sure those guys will be ready to pitch tomorrow. All right. Thanks, guys.
Each other's backs and staying positive with everything.
The story of this season's kind of just been like the youth of this team, but a performance from you, Anthony Silva with the home run, Cole Kramer with 4 RBIs. What is it about this small but veteran group that you guys have on the team?
I think it just comes down to like having the older guys lead. It's a leadership standpoint for us. We started off really strong early in the season, and now we're continuing doing that as well. But it comes down to the leadership and the family that we want around each other. It's all about the camaraderie within us. So.
It seems like that Cincinnati lineup can get hot at any time. When you're facing a lineup that lethal, is there any approach is there any change that you make to your approach, or is it just business as usual?
It's business as usual. I mean, also just keeping the ball down and just executing pitches to the best of my ability. I know I had a rough start, 6 balls straight up, back-to-back was not fun, but just getting in the groove of things and going after guys and keeping the ball low is probably the plane of attack for them.
As we near the end of the season last year, I mean, you guys missed the postseason this year. You guys are in a pretty good spot for it. Was there just kind of been a mentality switch, or for you, has it just kind of been the same as normal?
It's been the same as normal. I think we just have to get behind each other, have each other's backs, and no matter what we do, and go about our business like that. Thank you.
Got a hold of a high fastball there in the 9th or in the 8th. Threw a guy out at second base today as well. Just talk about the confidence that you're playing with all around right now.
Yeah, I know it's a lot of fun playing out there with a great group of guys. You know, comes down to the team. We're all doing our job, playing good defense now, and you know, it's been good.
It seemed to really kind of take in that home run as you were around at second base, gave a big clap and shot at the bullpen. Just talk about that moment.
Yeah, no, it felt good to have a really good swing on some, and you know, I always try and reach out to the guys because our bullpen's been pretty big for us this year. So you know, acknowledge them and keep playing baseball.
Catching guys like Louis like that who you haven't seen, and then you know going for Tommy today. Is there? And I know you're a young guy, but is there anything you're kind of telling them in between innings to kind of help them out at all for whenever they're playing an offense as lethal as Cincinnati's? What's the
Yeah, it's just calm them down a little bit. You know, keep them fresh. Just next pitch, just. You know, try and calm them down at all times. Just that way we can keep moving forward, even if we walk a guy or if there's a bloop hit that we can't control. You know, just keep put them in a good mindset to get the next pitch strike. So
it's interesting with this team specifically because obviously you're behind the plate most of the time, but you've also got Carson at first base who catches a ton as well. Just kind of have 2 catchers on the field. Are you guys kind of just working off of each other in conversations like that?
Oh yeah, all the time. I ask Carson a lot. He teaches me a lot. He's been a great guy to get under a wing this year. He's been real special to me. So.
Thanks, man.
Appreciate it. No problem.
Thank you.
A lot of runs tonight. Pretty interesting outcome with the guys had 2 lowest ERAs in the league coming into this game starting. But to just talk about the offense and how you guys kind of rallied tonight.
I mean, we knew today was going to be a dogfight. We knew that they were coming in hot, and we know we had something to prove after the result what happened last year and then what just happened over the past weekend. But we knew we just had to come in day in and day out throughout the practice for these 3 games, and luckily we got game 1 now into tomorrow.
As a pitcher yourself, does it make it any easier or harder whenever you're there in the batter's box kind of trying to guess what's going to be the next pitch thrown at you?
I mean, you really don't want to guess, but at the end of the day, that's how hitting is. You have to have a plan. You have to execute what you're trying to do, and if not, you swing at a bad pitch, you move on to the next one. But, I mean, pitching and being able to hit does have a little bit of an advantage because you also get to pick the mind of the pitcher.
Balls seem to be flying a lot more tonight than in normal Lupton evening. Just talk about how your approach maybe changes in the outfield on a night like tonight.
Well, we knew since luckily with BP you could do on the field and you could already experiment the wind, and we already knew since the get-go that the ball was going to jump. So we all, luckily now, end of the year, you're playing the teams that you're seeing all the stats go by, and we're already playing our position that whatever Delora has us at, and luckily it's at a spot where we're able to get to the gaps, get up against a wall, or even come in for anything. So, but positioning has been well.
As we kind of get closer to the end of the year, I mean, you're nearing your first year done. What's kind of been your biggest takeaway that go from the beginning to where you are now?
Oh, that's definitely leave that day that just went on in the past. If it's a 4 for 4 day, 5 for 5, or 0 for 5, you just got to move on to the next one, because at the end of the day, when you have the privilege to get at bats, you get to move on, because if not, you stay on one game, and then all it takes is that one little negative mindset to trickle down throughout the rest of the week, or maybe the rest of the series.
What needs to happen? I mean, tomorrow's 0-0 again. That's what needs to happen to make sure you clinch this series.
We have to, again, like how we did today. Bats were hot. Luckily, the bullpen was on point. I mean, they got to a couple balls, but that's what you're going to get when you're playing a team who could swing it. So bullpen's good. Defense got to stay on top, and hitting just got to stay hot.
Is there a little bit of scoreboard watching going on in the locker room with the standings and everything that kind of happens throughout each night?
A little bit, but not really. I mean, we just know when you're getting to the end of the season, all you got to do, every win matters. So every game, every pitch matters. So all you got to do is go pitch by pitch. At the end of the day, the scoreboard will determine itself. Sweet.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, Nolan.
8 shots on goal through 25 minutes of the game.
I have 2 damp ones and 1 clean one.